Right, hello guys, welcome back. So, today we're going to be talking about the new Artifact Perk Arc Compounding that we just received in Act 2 of Episode Revenant. We're going to be discussing what it does, how it works, and also some damage rotations that fully take advantage of it later in the video. So, let's start with what it says. It says that Arc sources deal increased damage to blind targets. Now, the first thing to note about that is that it is specifically Arc blind, not the disorienting blind that rolls on some grenade launchers like Ignition Code or something like that. It has to be the specific arc verb of blind. That is the only one that is going to work with this. So how much is the actual damage increase? Well, first of all, we're going to take this VS Pyroelectric Propellant Arc Water Rifle, and I'm going to combine that with the Retinal Burn perk here, which is going to make it so whenever I deal 2 precision hits, it's going to blind Carl, and we're just going to see how much damage it does without and then with it. So as you can see, without, I hit for 1419 for a headshot, so I'll have that come up on screen. But if I blind him by hitting 2 rapid precision hits, and now I go for a headshot, it goes to 1631. And if you work that out, that is actually a 15% increase in damage, which is a lot more than I thought it was going to be. I thought they would only do maybe 5%, but 15 is quite substantial, especially when you combine it into damage rotations. Now, in terms of how you can actually apply blind the easiest, there is the Artifact Perk, which I just showed you, but you could also use flashbang grenades. These work, they apply the blind effect. So as you can see here, I'll just chuck a grenade at Carl, and then I'll hit him in the head, and we're still doing 1631, so it does work with the flashbang grenade. However, in a damage situation, you are probably not going to be on Arc Warlock or an Arc subclass to begin with, to be honest. So instead, your best way of applying blind in a damage phase without actually consuming your armor charge is first going to be Ex Diris with its rework it received, and the second is going to be Grand Overture with its catalyst. And now we're going to talk about Ex Diris first, and we'll come back to Grand Overture later. Now, in Episode Revenant, Ex Diris was changed to spawn a moth every 2 hits with the gun itself, so you don't have to get kills anymore, and that moth will blind the target. So if you see here, I can hit 2 hits on Carl, it'll spawn a moth, and then when it hits him, he will be blind, as you can see by the sort of red effect over his head, and then that will count for the Retinal Burn perk. I'll be able to do more damage to him with the gun itself, and I'm just able to continue to spam that as much as I want to. Now, if you remember from a week ago, I made a video where if you combine the new Sanguine Alchemy changes to Warlock with a hot swap to a prismatic subclass, you can achieve some pretty insane damage. And basically, to give you a quick rundown, the reason why that works is because if you place your own well, it converts your damage into ability damage, and if you combine that with the Sanguine Alchemy changes by swapping to a prismatic loadout with, first of all, a Arc Super to make it so your weapons deal Arc ability damage, because we're going to be using Arc weapons like Bittersweet and Ex Diris. It first of all converts them into Arc ability damage. Then if we have Facet of Courage, it's going to improve our damage by another 10%, because this says your Arc Solar and Void abilities deal increased damage to targets afflicted with darkness debuffs. The darkness debuff is going to come from Liturgy here with Envious Chill Clip, and then we're going to get an additional 10% damage from the new Sanguine Alchemy changes from the Sanguine Mark, and then we're going to have on top of that the tier 4 surge that Sanguine Alchemy provides, and because we are using Bittersweet, we are going to get the bonus damage from Conductive Cosmic Crystal, which is 10% to abilities and I believe 8% to weapons. I mix up the order, but the whole point is those two stack together to a 18.8% damage increase, and on top of that you have Arc Compounding as well, which is another 15%, and if you combine Ex Diris into the equation, you simply pop 2 shots mid-rotation, the target is blind, and then you have all of those buffs together, resulting in a massively increased damage percentage. So I'll actually have the numbers thrown up on screen of the actual multiplicative increase. I believe it's 4 10% damage buffs, a 15% from Arc Compounding, 25% from Well, and another 25% from the surges as well. So if you put all of those together, I'm not quite sure what it is off the top of my head. It's got to be at least 2.5x though. And in practice, this actually does a lot of damage. So please enjoy the clip I'm about to play and you'll see what I mean. Jesus. What?
That wasn't even close to ending.
Yeah, that was like still like 5 seconds in it.
It's 5 seconds, yeah.
Yeah. Madness. Now, that is a lot of damage. Keep in mind that this was entirely solo as well. I only had Jude making Greg stomp so he didn't kill me because of the well changes from Final Shape. Now, it is a little bit impractical because yes, you do have to run double special. You need Liturgy to provide the darkness debuff to get certain things rolling. And like I said, if you want a deeper explanation, I have a whole video going on a deep dive in this exact strategy. But nevertheless, it's very cool to see the amount of damage you're simply able to deal by doing all of this stacking shenanigans. So that's enough about Ex Diris and that strategy. Now let's talk about Grand Overture. Now, if you didn't know this already, Grand Overture's catalyst makes it so the special missiles apply blind. Each of them will apply blind, so you're basically going to be getting that 15% damage increase completely for free because you're just using the weapon how you're supposed to. You don't even have to think about it. The only problem here is that Bungie literally just nerfed your ability to pre-charge Grand Overture by shooting immune enemies or immune panels like in Vesper's Host. It's really unfortunate actually, so it just means you're going to have to actually kill ads with this weapon to pre-charge to 20 stacks before you take it into damage. So yeah, a little bit unfortunate. However, it still does very good damage with the changes. And if you end up combining it with a Curious Titan with Thundercrash and a proper setup with Lost Signal, as well as concussive reload, specifically boosted so that you can reload the weapon by dealing damage with your Lost Signal, you can actually have a very easy rotation that puts out a ton of damage. So here's what that looks like. Take this to a 9. Oh, it's
gonna be
close.
so
Yeah.
close.
I don't think I can squeeze it, but I think that's good.
Featuring the ogre doing a 360 for
Yeah.
no reason.
That's still quite good though.
5.1's really good.
Yeah. So yeah, that's also pretty impressive. We aren't killing Greg quite like the Warlock did, but it's still very good, very easy, very sort of new player friendly. If you're new to DPS or like damage rotations, this is very simple. And it also works pretty well on the Witness. I also hit a clip on my Warlock where I hit 4.7 million damage just on my own with a little help with surges and so on. So if you just want something easy to use on the Witness, then you can definitely use that as well. But yeah, that's basically all I wanted to show you guys today. Definitely take advantage of this mod if you can. I believe I will also be probably putting out a video of us doing some raid boss bakes with this because, you know, if you're able to do that much damage on your own to Greg, there's no doubt that it does very well in a team scenario as well. So I'll probably be putting out a video, something to do with that fairly soon. But yeah, that's the main gist. I hope you learned something from this. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. If you made it this far, thank you so much. Your support means the world. And if you're really into the content I create, consider becoming a member of the channel, which not only lets you support me in the best way possible, it also nets you a whole host of awesome perks along with it. A massive shout out to these members up on screen, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now, dear viewer.